thejellybeans.net.
We're back with more tips for the Carnival Sunshine, and we hope these 17 quick tips will help you enjoy your next cruise even more. If you have your time dining, you'll likely be dining in the Sunrise Dining Room on Deck 3 at the back of the ship. But when you're ready to eat, don't head there directly. You first have to go to Deck 5 at the Ocean Plaza to check in and secure your dining time. We never had to wait for a table if we arrived when seating opened. However, we found if we arrived at 6 p.m. or later, we had to wait. Fortunately, the ship typically had music entertainment going on at Ocean Plaza, and the nearby Red Frog pub always has free table games to play. If you have set time dining, we encourage you to visit your dining room and assigned table during the afternoon of embarkation day. If you have mobility issues or require additional space, some of the seating configurations in the dining rooms may not suit your needs. If there are issues with your table assignment, seek out the maitre d'. If you want a break from having dinner in the main dining rooms, be aware that the Lido Marketplace Buffet's Good Eat section typically has a sampling of the dishes being served in the dining rooms. If you're booking your room and trying to avoid the active late-night areas on the ship, there are a couple of venues on the Sunshine that may not be on your radar. The Liquid Lounge on Decks 4 and 5 forward transforms into Liquid Nightclub for late-night music and dancing. The party starts at 11 p.m. and goes until the early morning hours. Loud parties with music are also held in the atrium, and those events usually started around 10 p.m. on our last cruise. The late-night venues and their opening times are listed in the Carnival Sunshine Fun Times posted on our website, thejellybeans.net. When it comes to room types, many people think that balcony is best, but that's not always the case. Although we thoroughly enjoyed our Deck 7 balcony on the first leg of our back-to-back cruises, we also enjoyed the ocean view cabin on Deck 1 that we had for the second leg. The ocean view cabin was more spacious and quiet, and we didn't feel the swaying of the ship as much as we did on the higher decks. It also made it a breeze to return from port, since the gangway at most ports was on Deck 0. The downside was that it didn't come with a fridge or a balcony, and it also wasn't as close to the activities on the upper decks. We love decorating our stateroom door, and so does our little jelly bean. It's fun, and it makes it so much easier for us to find our room. To avoid your decorations possibly being removed, be sure to check the Carnival website for their current policy. One thing to be aware of is that regular magnets did not work on any of the stateroom doors we've had on the Sunshine. In fact, the stateroom ceiling was the only place we could find in our staterooms to hang our magnetic decorations. It's pretty obvious that many people use more than magnets to hang decorations, but be sure to check with your room steward before doing so. If you are returning from port on Deck 0 forward, and there is a long line for the elevators, we recommend walking up the stairs to Deck 1 and then walking to the elevators in the middle or the back of the ship, which won't be as busy. Or you can simply walk up to Deck 2, where you can catch one of 10 elevators, 4 of which are the glass atrium elevators that aren't available from Decks 0 and 1. While many of the Cloud9 spa services and features require additional fees or a spa-level stateroom, the fitness equipment, locker rooms, showers, and some other features are complimentary for all guests 18 years and older. Check with the spa attendants for more information. If you are interested in the spa, they offer tours on embarkation day and have a drawing for spa-related prizes in the early evening. Check the fun times for the start time. You have to be present to win. Most nights, the Jumbotron over the midship pool plays movies that can be viewed from lounge chairs spread throughout the pool deck area, as well as the Serenity adults-only area. The movie schedule can be found in the Fun Times, but the location of the popcorn machine isn't advertised. You can find it behind the Red Frog Rum Bar, next to the pool, on the starboard or right side of the ship. If you or a family member are a big fan of the towel animals that show up every night in your stateroom, make sure you check the Fun Times towards the end of your cruise for the time and location of the towel animal invasion. We recommend arriving early, as the towel animals tend to disappear. If you need to wash or press your clothes, laundry rooms with washing machines, dryers, irons, and ironing boards are available midship on most stateroom levels. A listing of the laundry facilities is typically found in the Good to Know flyer delivered to your stateroom the first day. If you need an extra copy of the Fun Times, which lists the daily activities and more, check the coffee shop internet cafe area on Deck 5. Activities are also listed on the Carnival Hub app. If you enjoy trivia like we do, there are typically 3 locations for trivia. The most obvious one is the Ocean Plaza, where trivia is regularly held during the day. Less obvious is the Sports Bar, which hosts sports trivia in the evenings. And the least obvious is the Red Frog Pub Quiz, held later at night in the Red Frog Pub on Deck 5. The miniature golf course is located on Deck 12, with the first hole located on the port side, the left side of the ship. Before you begin, you will need to pick up a ball and club, which are also located on the port side of the ship, but on Deck 11. If you do not see balls and clubs, check to see if passengers have left their equipment at the end of the course, which is also on Deck 11, but on the starboard side. The SkyCourse ropes course is available to guests who are 48 inches and taller. The ropes course usually has limited operating hours. On some days, it is scheduled to open for just a few hours, and if the weather is bad or if it's too windy, it is closed. If the ropes course is on your vacation bucket list, we recommend doing it as soon as you have the opportunity. If you're interested in the slides at Waterworks, the line for the slower yellow slide was consistently much shorter on our cruises than the line for the much faster racing slides. The minimum height to ride all 3 slides is 42 inches. If you're trying to find the medical center on a Carnival Sunshine map, either on board or online, don't be surprised if you don't find it, because those maps tend to start with Deck 1. The medical center is located on Deck 0 in the front of the ship. We hope these additional tips will help you have even more fun on your next cruise aboard the Carnival Sunshine.